Ooh, live on YouTube too. Let's go. Let's go. Let me show you everything. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. Oh, I gotta stop singing in. I gotta stop singing in. Uh, uh, yeah, that's perfect. This voice is perfect. The high pitch, low pitch part is perfect. There's no problem. We're gonna start the Israel Iran USA war. It's a little bit kirkiri. There's kirkiri in it. Mm, I'm so unfunny. In real life, I'm funny. It's the stream pressure that's killing my comedy. Oh, I mean, it's the pressure of this new multitasking thing. You know, I really want to write the both of the chats, but I can't. Yeah. So last day we were watching this, right? But like ourselves, because we like ourselves. So two people watching us. Uh, I hate, I hate my mic though. I'm hating right now. Hello, is it okay now? So let's start with why this country was erased from history. Which country was erased from what history? Um, you guys are okay. You guys are okay. You guys are okay. There's no more problems. Let's start.
Up in the Zagros Mountains have long lived a people called the Kurds. They're a people with a centuries-long history of fighting back against
Kyrgyz. Oh, it's talking about Kurdistan, whatever, something like that. It's talking about that. pop this shit out, keep it at this corner. Whenever comes here, get to know this bigger. Get mode, perfect. And then one more thing. One more thing. One more thing. Okay, there's Tumi Uka is the first viewer of the day. Hello Tumi, how are you? How's it? How was your day? Is everything all right? Tumi Uka, nice name though. Yeah, I think. What is the video on right now? It is about we are here to learn. Let me check if the sounds okay. To learn. It's gonna hurt you. Let me check if the sounds okay. Here to learn. Sounds gonna hurt not you. Let me check, but okay, it's not okay. It's not okay. What do I do now? Why? This video is about Iran-Israel war. Okay, we are here to understand the dynamics of Middle East. To Miyuka, and you are the only one with me right now here to be educated on this topic. Okay, this video is about modern Middle East explained. But me, give a reaction about it if you got what I said. And until then, I'm waiting for your reaction. By the way, until then, I will fix my part. Modern, like from where? Middle East modern, modern Middle East dynamics of that. See, there was an ancient history of Middle East when the civilization was emerging, and now it's the modern part where nations have been built. The Britishers are out of the way. Britishers, French, and the imperialist people, colonizers are out of the way, and the modern nations are formed. So we are here to learn that, know the dynamics of that. Before proceeding to Iran, it's very important to understand what does Middle East, what is the situation, real situation in the Middle East is. Okay, tell me more about you, Tumioka. You're Iraqi. Okay. Oh, so you must have known better than anyone else. You need to stay here then. You need to make me understand how it works. I'm sorry for the mic though. I'm very, you know what I mean. I'm so beginner at this, and I have no resources to. And how do I fix this? What's the real name, Tumioka? I would love to know. Tumioka is hard to keep spelling, keep pronouncing. Tumioka. Tumioka. Mustafa. Okay, Mustafa. Mustafa. I'm familiar. I'm familiar with that name. Uh, How old are you, Mustafa? You know, Iraq is in the Iran-US war right now, too, right? You know, I know that. Means not you guys are not. Yesterday we learned all about that, the Iraq part in the Middle East dynamic. You know, we talked about Saddam Hussein and how America, uh, you know, did all of the bad things that they could do in the gain in the favor of their own interests. Uh, but I don't know about the Iraq situation th- very clearly. Honestly, I don't know about that.
Against invaders.
We are kinda in wars cause Iran bomb American embassy and sits in Iraq and US bombs Shia military in Iraq. Okay, both on us. Okay, so US is also okay. Go, oh, you are in the respect. Hey, Mustafa. Where there are so much struggle with people after sleep. I really enjoyed Sebastian's show.
Nobody is talking about Iran's next move, and it is bigger than closing the strait. Iran warned it will cut the undersea internet cables in the Red Sea.
So make
Tell me more. What is really happening in Iran? What is the common concession for America and for Israel and for Iran? Who are you guys are really in support? You know what I mean, Mustafa? Okay, Iran bombing. Okay, so okay, got it. Iran and Iraq have been rivals for many days. And American bombing Shia military which are kind of with Iran. Yeah, Shia military is with Iran, that I know. Okay, got it. So is this all around the country or the border states? Iraq situation. Recommend me a video that I can watch to understand all the dynamics of Iraq, what is happening in Iraq right now. US bombing is away from cities because the military are okay. So that's a good thing. That's a matter of relief. But when Iran bombed the embassy, we are kind of negative. Yeah, I see it. Great, got it. So what part of Iraq are you from? The alert and C ran easy jumps. I see. So what part of Iraq are you from, Mustafa? Baghdad, capital. Okay, so you're right after me. Okay, this guy's explaining, I guess. Iraq is the only country in war. So is your daily work being hindered, or is it is, are you guys working like every day? Is there any lockdown or some kind of trouble with your everyday?
One of the country's
You understand what I'm saying? No, there went any drone to the US embassy. So usually the US embassy is being attacked, nothing else. So it's close to your place, right? Baghdad. Baghdad is the capital of Iran, is what I know. There is a US consulate in Erbil is attacked. Okay. So it's almost exactly in the middle, mostly on the Iran's.
Okay. Okay. We had war.
We had a war with Khomeini, but you see more than 50% of Iraqi like him. Okay, so you guys are, what do you mean by that? You mean Shia Muslims? We see people like Shia Muslims in Iraq every day? Please explain the statement, Mustafa. I couldn't get that.
Perfect. The mic is perfect, I guess, now. Thank God. Now your ears will be saved. Like Iraq-Iran war. Khomeini was president and killed many Iraqi. But many Iraqi right now loves him. And why is that the case? There must be a reason to love him, right? Most of the Iranis hate him. Why do Iraqis love him? Some says Iran helped against ISIS. Okay. So ISIS is completely dead now after the last regime of Trump and he killed the leader of the ISIS. So I'm not getting correctly. So against ISIS, Iran helped Iraq against ISIS. Got it. I need to work on that. I need to study about it. How old are you, Mustafa? Can I ask? 17. I'm 19, by the way. Do you go to school or what standard are you in? What class? It's in India, we say standard as class.
which has been targeted by both sides in the conflict. Baghdad has close links with both the
Institution was Iraq's sixth preparatory is the hardest and school can't finish it. Okay, so what's sixth preparatory? So there in Iraq, you guys are proficient in English. There's no problem of people speaking in English. Year before college. Got it, got it, got it, got it. I just finished my school, not in college also. I will get to the college this academic year. In India, academic year starts from April and ends next year, May. Not May, it's March. Until March it ends. So in March my school ended and now I will go for college. And there's a time gap. There's a buffer period before March and April. So I'm just uh, messing around here. Technically the academic year starts around May. So that's why I got so much time. I thought maybe I should learn how to stream and prepare for college too. Yesterday we qualified to the World Cup. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Congratulations, man. We could never. India could never. Do you know what country I am from? India, by the way. Did I mention? Okay, Mustafa, it will be great if you follow me, and I would really love to
United
have you as a follower.
States and Iran, and it was one of the first governments to call for de
So
escalation
you're gonna
early
lose
in
me
the
at
war.
first.
But it has
The last time Iraq went to the World Cup before 40 years, it was in Mexico too, or this time it's in Mexico too. I don't catch up with football that much. In India, it is not so popular, the football thing. But still, we got to know that Iraq, uh, did it. They qualified to the World Cup, and why can't we? That was the question that arose. 40 years on, a lot has changed.
all
Let me check when did last time India went to the World Cup. When was the last time India qualified for 1950s? Oh my God, it's been 100 years. Not 100, 76 years. Tournament in Brazil. Look at the condition. Okay, one more thing I need to check before we start this video. We was in 1986. Okay, so you guys are great in football. Is football famous? Do you play football? Walking. 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 Shit. It got loose. Oh my god. I mean, every Iraqi play and watches yesterday, even the Prime Minister gave us 2 days holiday to celebrate. Okay, to celebrate the qualification. Oh my god, that's big deal.
Also suffered from an awful lot of attacks by both Tehran and by the United
Okay, Mustafa, bye. But you didn't follow though. Follow me so you don't miss me. Bye, by the way. If you want to leave, you can leave, but a follow would have been appreciated because I don't have any. You will be my second follower of this entire part. I don't follow anyone in my account. I free roam. Okay, no problem then if you don't want to. Okay, bye. Bye, Mustafa. If you want to go, then
States
go. I will
and
understand this.
Israel. And for more on this,
Next time, if you come back, I will make you understand. I will be better in Iraq situation more than you. I'll be more
I can
knowledgeable
welcome
than
Haider Al-Shakeri, who is a research fellow with the Middle East and North Africa programme at Chatham House in London. Good morning, Haider, and thank you for joining us. How concerned is Iraq at overspill from the conflict basically infecting its own domestic situation?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. It is very concerning, and Iraq is in a tight position right now because, as you mentioned, both the U.S. and Israel, both the U.S. and Iran are close allies to Iraq. Iraq needs both countries. Iraq shares huge borders with Iran, while with the U.S., all of the money and the security agreements for Iraq are there. So Iraq is in a tightrope, and the prime minister right now is trying to balance these relationships while getting pushed from different directions, from the own political elite inside the country, but also from both Iran and the US, where they're pushing in different directions.
Okay, so Iran and Iraq are allies. This right now, at this moment, at this current scenario, they were allies before the war, and US is also an ally. They have embassy in Iraq. That is what it seems. Got it.
Towards escalation to the other side. The prime minister has called for both ambassadors for Iran and the US to call for de-escalation, to call for stopping the attacks on Iraq. But those attacks are only continuing and increasing. They're targeting various sources, and not just the PMF or Iran-aligned groups, but others, including the Ministry of Defense, Peshmerga forces, which are the Kurdish forces, and even civilian infrastructure in the country, which is becoming more and more dangerous for Iraq and Iraqis. And this is not just militarily, so economically as well. Iraq depends on the US a lot because all of Iraq's oil money goes to the US before it comes to Iraq. At the same time, Iraq depends a lot on the Hormuz Strait because Iran is now controlling the Hormuz Strait. All of its oil, 90% almost of its oil, goes through the strait. So all of this making Iraq in a very tough position, and it's the only country in this war where it's being bombed by both sides and also from within.
Now, as you mentioned there, the war has had widespread economic repercussions. Some of them come from the same route as is the case with Iraq, such as the Strait of Hormuz and the blockade there. But are there particular economic challenges that the war is causing in Iraq that go beyond that?
Yes, definitely. So Iraq has announced force majeure in most of its oil fields in the south. Now, more than 70 or 80% of oil production has stopped in the country, and this is causing further stress over Iraq production of electricity, of various fuel, and various things. In addition to that, all of Iraq's imports is coming from either the Strait of Hormuz or from land crossing. The majority of them are now closed, especially the ones that are with Iran. Right now, Iraq is trying to take care of its people by relying on whatever reserves that it has. But as the situation escalates and as things become harder, the society will suffer the most, and Iraqis can see that. Iraqis have depended on their government for 2 decades after 2003 war, after the invasion, and they still depend on the government that hasn't really had the economic buffers or the cushions that are necessarily will protect them from such conflicts or such big repercussions.
Now, the bombing of Iran was not entirely unexpected, but the fallout in the region was perhaps not anticipated. Is there a sense that Iraq has left itself exposed to regional headwinds like this, or is it all out of its hands?
अंधेर लड़की को तो दिखता नहीं, एक तरह से ऐसा होता है कि बच्चे क्रॉस रोड पे ठहरी है इधर.
Well, Iraq has been seeing this, and during the 12-day war, Iraq stayed relatively away from the conflict, despite being so close to Iran. Iran-aligned actors in Iraq also stay quiet and did not do much. But this is different, and this is some sort of an existential threat to Iran, especially after the killing of Ayatollah Khamenei. So Iraqis are seeing this, and Iran-aligned actors inside Iraq have joined this fight. They decided that this is also their fight, and that dragged Iraq into the war. At the same time, the U.S. saw it as an opportunity. The U.S. and Israel saw it as an opportunity to go after the Iran-aligned actor within Iraq, which is the forces that are part of the PMF, certain forces, to go after them and start decapitating their leadership, start attacking them. But the thing is, within the PMF, and this is something that many get wrong, the PMF is a very wide range of actors. Some of them are aligned with Iran, some of them are not, some of them are very much Iraqi nationals. And now the bombing is targeting, different categories of those, and not just the Iran-aligned ones, to the extent that even army bases are being targeted right now by the U.S. And this is calling for increased escalation by the Iraqi Prime Minister, and the political forces inside Iraq are pushing the Prime Minister to take further action. So the impact is being seen. There were some anticipation of this, but sadly.
One of the countries most affected by the US-Israeli war on Iran is neighboring.
Nobody is talking.
That's how the Kurds in these four
Sorry, my mic. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so no why I said this. I'm very rookie at this. Hey, Dankly. Am I pronouncing your name right? Dankly. Right. Where are you from? We are here to understand Iran, Israel, USA war, by the way. You're from Norway. I'm from India, the East. What time is it there in Norway? Must be around 4 hours back. You guys must be. So it's not. Let me guess. Let me guess. Don't tell me. It has to be 10. Anything around 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. I don't know how what's the system, but 10 is it. 11. Oh, I was close. I was close though. Almost. So what's your real name? Dankle is the real name? That sounds nice. Yeah, guess. I actually I spilled it already, but it's okay if you guess it. Where's the guess? Thank you. 2 p.m. You heard me, I guess. Okay, whatever. So there's a 3 hour lag between India and Norway. So what part of Norway and how are you guys affected by the war? If you can explain. Is there anything different since the war has started between Iran and Israel, USA?
Four countries became locked in a conflict with their governments. They all have different
You are right, by the way. Didn't mention that.
struggles, but they're all unified by the dream of some version of Kurdish independence.
I'm in Westland. It's the same as most places, I'm guessing. We have much higher prices, especially gas and energy. Okay, see. So it's higher than usual. The gas prices, energy prices are higher than usual. Let me tell you about India. In India, there's LPG, the gas. LPG is the gas we use to cook in our houses, you know, in cylinders. So there's an LPG shortage in India, and it's really if you order the gas cylinder for cooking, it is taking weeks to come to be delivered. So that's the only problem. And there are rumors of petrol prices hiking up, and there are also rumors of not hiking up. So both sides are there. But most of this fear is potential fear. So we might get in trouble later if we don't work upon it right now. Nothing significant has happened until now in India. How old are you, Dankley?
But it doesn't take long for these regimes to see that they could use the Kurds as a tool, as a weapon.
That sucks. Do you feel the Modi government is doing enough to fix it? Probably, I would say no. Since I'm actually out of the social media and I was out of the social media and stuff, so I was not actually following what is happening. But most of Modi government lacks in transparency. You know, what are they doing, actually doing for what is happening. Usually fall People here usually fall for the propaganda of the right wing parties. Not right wing, the parties who are the leading parties, is what I mean to say. So Modi government is very lacks the transparency. That is for sure. We get to know about the situation when it has done. If we fail, we fail, and if we succeed, we succeed. So there's no point. There's no transparency in Modi government. What are they doing? They don't tell us. They just propagate the idea. They just propagate the ideology that we are doing perfect. Fine. What are we doing? We don't know. We are doing excellent. That is for sure. So Dangli, if I may ask, can I ask your age? Because I want to know what audience is watching me. If you don't want to tell, it's okay. But the dumb thing is that we do have enough domestic energy to not be affected. The Norwegian energy corporations sell the rest of Europe. That's regular. I'm 22. So the regular people have to compete with European energy companies for price by sea. So the domestic energy, like the corporations, are private corporations, not uh, controlled by governments, right? I'm assuming you guys are capitalist economy. They're private owners of energy. I'm assuming. Tell me if I'm incorrect. You're 22 and I'm 17. I'm not 17, sorry. I'm actually 19. I just heard the YouTube comment section say 17. I'm bad at multitasking. My brain freezes while doing multitasking. That is one of the reason why I'm doing this Twitch thing. So it gives me a time to practice the multitasking part. And my English is bad too. It used to be state-owned, but now it's majority private, I think. And state-run companies have been run like private companies since the 90s when the new public management reform. Okay. Damn, boy, you got so much information. In India, there are both. We have mixed economy. We have private holders and public holders too. So the most of the prices are controlled by the government, but there are companies are that are private and they sell energy like petrol and gas. LPG is LPG is private. LPG is private. The government have stakes on those companies. More than 50% of the stakes are government held by the public. That's how it works. It's very confusing. It's mixed economy. Little bit of socialism, little bit of capitalism. Yeah, that's right. There's not massive surge in energy prices, but there are rumors that there will be surge in energy prices. People are afraid. That's the point. People here are actually in fear that there might be some issue later. Colleges and dorm rooms. You know what I mean? They've started to send students home, so that if the LPG crisis comes in, we don't have to deal with the kids. And how are we going to cook? So as a precautionary action, they are sending the kids home. It's all people assume that there will be lockdown, same lockdown as happened in the Corona time, COVID-19 era. So people are ready for that again. They're ordering too much LPG. So the rumor is triggering the whole chain. It's breaking the whole system of balance. People are over ordering stuff and it's messing with the system. Okay, whatever, let's start with the video.
Up in the Zagros Mountains have long lived a people called the Kurds. There are people.
Okay, let me give you context of the video. In the previous part of this video, this guy told us about a community called Kurds. Keyword is they are residents of the regions of Turkey, Ottoman Empire. They were under Ottoman Empire for a long time, and they are rebels. They want a free country of their own, but the Turkey Empire, the Turkey, heads don't want this. Britishers wanted it to happen, but they didn't. The Turkey leaders didn't let them do it. So that's the context. Ask me if you have anything to ask. It's great to
People with a centuries-long history of fighting back against invaders who have crossed through their lands, resisting conquest in the name of defending their shared cultural identity. Some living as nomads.
I wish we had a system also in Vietnam. There, the energy companies is state-owned and not run for profit. So they set a price at the start of the year and are not allowed to change it. Oh my, really? Wow, amazing. That's what it should be. But won't it affect the economy? Like if they sell the petrol, if they sell the energy in losses, even if the government sells the petrol in lesser amount than it should be, it can affect the economy. I don't know how it works. I'm bad at economics, so I'm naive at everything you can imagine.
People with no friends.
Are Vietnamese? Let me research. Are Vietnamese Chinese is the one of the highest search thing on Google. Energy companies. Oh, primarily state-owned, the sector heavily dominates by state utility with EVN, which controls transmission and distribution. However, the government is increasingly encouraging private and foreign investment in renewable energy generations. Okay, let me search one. Why don't you were right, thankfully. Why don't the prices of Vietnamese energy prices? Oh my god, what is English? What does this English mean? Why don't the why don't Vietnamese energy increase throughout the year? 2022 set the price at the start of the year, and when the war during those EVN did not raise the prices on the rest of the year because they made a promise and they wanted to keep it. Okay. The government keeps will tightly regulated to manage inflation and support economy rather than allowing them to fluctuate freely with the inflation. You're right. You're very good, very knowledgeable person. What do you do, Dankly? Are you a student or do you work? Great. In India, we don't work on sites, on the sites. We are either student or we have a career as a barista. I am studying history. Oh my God, you are studying and specializing in economic history. We have economic champ here. So you're gonna, so there will be an intellectual authority there that side. What part of Norway, if I may ask? Yeah, I was talking about the situation of working on sites. In India, we don't work on sites. We either are student or we live with our parents and we wish to. I might cut out. Hello. Check. Hello. For a second. I'm sorry. It's just I've got some rookie mistakes with my computer. Now it's back in. Okay. Well, my question was, we don't work. My question was, what was my question? What was my question though? Forgot. Okay, whatever my question was, I was explaining that we don't work on sites. We either are students or we work as a barista, as a career option. There's no, even if the middle class parents don't allow their kids to work for a side hustle to make money for the pocket money, they feel very like humiliated if the children are working under them, and they're okay to pay them until they're 25 or 26. Don't you get a lot of debt only being a student without working on the side? Yeah, that is for them to pay. The parents. The parents are usually in debt in a student life. Okay, that's the problem of the system. All the pressure is on the parents to fulfill. The kids are not independent until they get really. In India, the system is it's also great in some perspective. But what I feel is the kids are not independent until they get a real job, until they get a, they settle with their profession. They're not independent, so they don't even work. They don't even get money. They have to stay under their parents. They can't move out and stuff. There's also some ego problem that my kid class problem that my kid can't work barista. It's so humiliating. He works at he's studying engineering, and why would he work as a barista? That's the problem. That's the mindset problem. So, me being 19, I just finished my school and I'm heading towards college entrance exams, and I will get to colleges in few months. So I'm trying here to make some money. That's why. Either you have to do something extraordinary so your parents can figure out what are you doing. It's really around your class, your um, do you know what you want? I know. Uh, so either you do something extraordinary so your parents can't find out what are you doing, or either you don't. You can't work as a low profile job. It's all about ego of the middle class people. Okay, whatever. I want to study law, by the way. I'm heading towards law colleges, entrance exams. I failed in one, and I'm heading towards the next. I didn't fail. I didn't got the college of my choice. You find that interesting? That's good. Okay, if you find me interesting, you can follow. I wanted to ask for that for a long time. There's a follow goal here. Okay, that's that. If you can add to that, let's go.
Friends, but the
By the way, you were the second follower of this whole Twitch thing since I've started. You're the second follower. Yesterday I got one follower, and now today you are the one. Hmm. Okay, enough conversation. I've talked to you a lot. I love you, Danky, already. Uh, That's cool. Law can be a great tool for improving society and making positive. Yeah, it is. That's why I chose. And also, it's a branch. You can do a lot of things in law. In law already, it's not. It's still narrow, but but a little bit flexibility is there. pursuing law as graduation. Fuck Iran is and Palestine and Pal nuke 'em all. Oh my god. Iran's drops. What are you talking about? Let it allow. This is the first time I'm don't easy metacode. You a dumbass. What a dumbass I am.
These mountains.
Make some sense, man. Nuke 'em all? You want to kill them? Where are
Eventually,
you
the
from?
Ottoman Empire
Learn something from Dankly. Dankly, where are you? Where are you? Dankly, where have you gone? Oh my god, Indian. Indian is, oh, that's very sad. An Indian could do that. Ignore this guy.
Up
Let's study why this country was
in the
created.
Zagros
Chemistry. I explained the Kurdistan part, right? You get that? You know that? Kurdistan. I don't know. You don't even have to. No one knows me. Oh my god, he got emotional. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know you, Iron's drops. What is your name? Okay, I don't want to. Iron's job is cool.
mountains have long lived a people
I have a bad habit of asking people's real name. I'm not used to this internet stuff. Do something great so people know you. Nuking them all, we won't let people know you. Having ideologies like this won't let.
called the Kurds. There are people with a centuries-long history of fighting back against invaders who have crossed through their lands, resisting conquest in the name of defending
So this guy's talking about Kurdistani people, okay?
their shared cultural identity. Some living as nomads, a people
You will cry into my stream.
with no
Okay.
friends but these mountains.
Sure. Why not?
Eventually, the Ottoman Empire did take over all
Follow me
of this
though.
territory. But even then, the Kurds maintained large amounts of autonomy and freedom in their land. Then came World War I, when the European powers defeated
Okay,
the
by
Ottoman
the way, since I have 3 followers, I need to increase this. Let me flex something. Iron's drop. Where are you from, Iron's drop? We're in India. Gross social media.
Empire, and conquered all of this. The winners got together and discussed how
You are on social media.
they would carve it up between them. If you look back at old European maps,
Iron's drop. Where are you from? Let's communicate, dog. Stop. Cut the crap. Thank God it's only one.
you'll see that all of this area would be labeled Kurdistan, an area where the Kurdish people lived and had some self-rule. So while drawing these lines, the British wanted to mark all of this as Kurdish territory, paving a way for an independent country for the Kurds. But the new leader of Turkey opposed this plan. He didn't want to give all of this land and resources
Okay, let's check how far Iron's drop is in his streaming career. 14 messages. I would check on that one. New.
to the
Okay,
Kurds.
whatever.
So he pushed the European forces out of Turkey. They gave up on this plan to give the Kurds their own land. And in the end, instead of drawing borders around the Kurds, the Europeans drew borders through them. What could have been Kurdistan was now 5 different territories. The Kurds split between them.
Okay,
But at
got it.
first, these were just lines on a map, and the Kurds continued to move through this region. Eventually, the Europeans left, and these became independent countries with leaders who wanted to consolidate and centralize power. So these lines hardened, restricting the Kurds' movement and their livelihood in this region. But even
What? What is the Indian version of Muslim? No, you absolute dummy. Let me explain. Kurds, aka Turk approach. No. Yeah, Turk approach. Oh my god, you're close. Like, you know stuff. I can feel that. But let me let me explain what I know. Where was I? Pop out chat. Yeah. I am is Bihar. Oh, I am from Balia, bro. I am from Uttar Pradesh.
still, across
World is so small. We got one Bihari here too.
this region, the
The mic keeps cutting out, by the way. I'm so sorry. Give me money to buy one. At least follow me, man. The least you can do is follow me. Get me a mic and a stable, connection for the mic. Is it all right now? Tell me when it cuts for a long time. If it cuts for a second, it's okay. You can ignore that. We shall see. Yeah, see, please. Please check if I deserve a follow. Is it okay now? Iron's drop.
Kurds didn't give up on their idea
Okay, so Kurds are a community. Kurds are a community of Turkey region. Brother, I just saw your 3 moves. Yes. Yeah. So 3 is not enough, right? What are you mocking me or praising me? I don't get that. Whatever, let's talk about Kurds. Kurds are a community of Turkey and region around it. British wanted them to have a different country. They also wanted to have a different country, but the Turkey didn't want that, so they didn't let that. They still rebel against the Turkey occupation. Okay, so that's the story, and we will proceed with why this country.
Then came
is
World War I, when the European powers defeated the Ottoman Empire
Then came World
and
War I.
conquered all of this. The winners got together and discussed how they would carve it up between them.
Behringer XM8500. It's very good quality compared to other mics. क्या बकवास है तुम्हारे सिर्फ 3 फॉलोअर्स क्यों हैं? क्योंकि मैंने परसों शुरू किया है. I just started yesterday, not yesterday, a day before yesterday. That's why I have 3 followers. 3 followers in 3 days. Can you do that? I didn't let my parents follow. How many followers do you have, by the way? Okay, Dankly is saying if you are looking for cheap mic, XM Behringer XM. How much money does that cost? Pardon my English. Okay, let's go. That's what I want. 3,000. Is it worth it though? Is it Excel? It's an XLR, bro. I have to buy one XLR too. I ain't got the money. How much? मेरे पास उससे 100 मिल जाता है. By the way, Dankly, this guy is talking in Hindi. That's the language where most of the people of India speak. And most of them, half of the population speaks that language. Okay, by the way, I also have a YouTube. You can subscribe there too. So I don't want to promote too much. We haven't watched any content. We are just talking shit. 312 Iron Low. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ratioed. Someone ratioed me. You got 100 more times. Okay, let me search it. What type of missile are you? कौन सी बड़ी तोप है जी तू? Damn, what do you do? Or you play games and stuff? Got it, got it. But Dankly, you ain't getting. If I buy an XLR of 3,000 rupees and also have to spend on the XLR, the audio interface, it's double the price. I can one day I will, but I don't have the money of that right now. POL is the point. The games is the cover. You're doing great, buddy. 312 followers is brain. Someone follow me, man. Just give me some raise. I'm gonna follow you though. I'm not that egoistic. You really from Bihar? You don't use your voice in your videos? No, I heard about the Behringer part, but it's great. I will look into it if I have money. When I have money. Some people, I gotta beg for followers right now. Now just click my name, you retard. I can't, you retard. I don't have that setup. Because I do game but talk to Paul. What does that mean? Paul? Talk to police? Subjective reasoning and objective truth has come to war with another. What a time to be alive. Oh my god, excellent. You know, excellent description. Oh, you talk politics. What? Is this you? Oh, this guy was joking. This guy was joking that he's from India. That was a bad joke, bro. I really thought you were from Bihar. Bihar is what India. Bihar is what to us is what India is to the world. You get me? So you're not from Bihar. People from Bihar doesn't look like this. So,
Well, yeah, you're talking about
damn,
McKellen.
you look great. Banshee. Wrong spelling, by the way. Wrong spelling. It's Benchode.
You're the one who posted it, music. What the fuck?
You know what does it mean, by the way? What does the Banshee mean? Something that you can't even spell. Private time. Let me see your
Mom, I'm
gameplay.
fine.
Fucking asthmatic guy asshole. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point of having a good mic? Hey, I learned it at Lyricus. What's the point of having a good mic if you can't even speak properly? You speak like a. You're getting it all wrong, by the way. You speak like a band child. Speak like that. No, you're wrong. Mata CHODE also wrong. Everything's so you're getting it all wrong. Thankfully, just stay with us. We're gonna watch about the cards right now. Okay, Iris drop. I'm just gonna tell you if you want to follow me, you can follow me. This follow button is open. And if you want to play a game with me, you can do that also. Just help me with the stream shit, man. It's tough to it's only tough at the beginning, I know.
If you look back at old European maps, you'll see that all of this area would be labeled Kurdistan, an area where the Kurdish people lived and had some self-rule. So while drawing these lines, the British wanted to mark all of this as...
It's not Mata CHODE, it's... Let me correct you. You know, that's how it's spelled, by the way.
Kurdish.
मैं एक गोरे आदमी की तरह बोलता हूँ, मुझे तुम पर पूरा ब्रिटिश राज करने का पर got you. Bad joke, by the way.
Territory. Paving a way for...
You imperialist assholes.
Then came World War...
Yeah, that's how it's spelled. Oh, I just reacted to my own text, man. I'm so rookie.
War I, when the European powers defeated the Ottoman Empire and conquered all of this.
Okay, by the way, Irons drop. Hey, what's this? How did you get to 312 followers? What am I doing wrong? It's been 3 days since I started. I've gained followers. More than that, man. I know you're great. You're great. How long have you been streaming for? The stream anything? Does the quality matters? Does the mic quality matters? Since I have a very bad mic system and a very bad camera system, does that matter? How much that matter? What percentage of that whole thing matters? 2 years, damn, bro. Do you play PUBG PC? Nah, yeah, mic matters, yeah. So why can't you just follow me, boy? So I can get a mic at least. Just make the 3 followers count to 4. Okay, I'm not so much honestly. Okay, so I gotta invest on mic. Got it. So you just played and talked shit. That's it. Did you post it on a PS5? No, XCOM Stream 9 and the PS5. Got it.
The winners got together and discussed how they would carve it up between them. If you look back at old European maps, you'll see that all of this area would be labeled Kurdistan, an area where the Kurdish people lived and had some self-rule. So while drawing these lines, the British wanted to mark all of this as Kurdish territory, paving a way for an independent country for the Kurds. But the new leader of Turkey opposed this plan. He didn't want to give all this land.
Forget me one more thing. So you, as of you know better. By the way, you should be careful for Johnny Harris video. For what I know, he often has corporate money behind him. If you want to know more about Iraq and Middle East, I would recommend Iraqi YouTuber Hakeem. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I know about Johnny Harris. He's sometimes good, sometimes he has some suspicious parts. But anyone who can stand against his country's leader, there must be something about him. You know, this guy stands courageously against Elon Musk. He talked about against Elon Musk. He talked about against very neutrally actually, not against. Against won't be the word, perfect word for it. But yeah, so I find this guy great. But that's a great recommendation by the way. Let me pull that up. I want to write a cookbook. Everyone has money behind them. That's why everything is subjective. Yeah, everybody has their money part. Even if the most independent, most careless guy will think about what video will work and what phrases that will work and that will give him views. So there's very capitalism is shit, man. This guy looks socialist. Okay, I just pulled in socialist guy and started talking shit about communism.
Land and resources to the Kurds. So he pushed the European forces out of
Where are you? Where are you actually from, Ironstrop?
what could have been Kurdistan was now 5 different territories. The Kurds split between them. But at first, these were just lines.
No, good and evil is not subjective, Iron. I think morality is itself is subjective. And good and evil are usually polarizing, and they are separated in terms of morality. What morals does a human have? But evil is always evil, if you think about it. How much evil is much evil is the question. It is definitely. So we're getting philosophical. What do I ask them?
On a map, and the Kurds continued to move through this region. Eventually, the Europeans left, and these became independent countries with leaders who wanted to consolidate and centralize power. So these lines hardened, restricting the Kurds' movement and their livelihood in this region. But even still, across this region, the Kurds didn't give up on their idea of someday gaining independence, self-rule, or maybe even a country of their own.
आपको मिल सकते हैं 5.3.
Look at this case, the Kurdistan's case. People of Kurdistan who wanted an independent country thought that getting an independent country is a great thing, but the people of Turkey might have thought them as an evil energy that are creating disturbance in their own country, that wanted them to be separated. Damn, that's an excellent point, Dankly. I'm impressed.
In the 1900s, the Kurds
Oh my god. Iron's Rock is asking some dumb questions. Okay, you guys continue fighting. I will
Kurds
learn
in
about
each of these
this.
new countries took different approaches to fight for an independent Kurdish state. Some Kurds would use politics, others
Mm-mm.
early uprisings were crushed.
One Abrahamic religion is fine with that, two are not. That's I would call subjective and non-objective. Subjective and non-objective. So okay, let me explain. Let me cook. Let me pull out a notepad. Open. Okay. Danke's point is Dankly. Objective morality. Yeah, he answers, and I will just sum it up. What are the conversations? Yeah, you're right. He needs to answer that. But let me just explain what both of you guys are thinking. Objective morality explains exists. I'm spelling it. Irons. Everything. Every goddamn thing is objective. That's the point. That's the war. So now I would agree that objective morality is subjective to who has power. Now that is not true. Not all Muslims think that unaliving gay people is good. And also, this is besides the point. Like I shared, just because people disagree on what is good and what is evil doesn't mean that there cannot be one correct objective morality. Hmm, absolutely. The argue that objective morality is objective that to who is in power. How would you how would you write his job? Dankly is saying that there is objective morality that exists for human reasoning. There is objective morality that exists, like unaliving gay people is, and unaliving anybody, unaliving a child is always bad. How, in what subjective situation would you point that unaliving a child is good? Unaliving a child was a great option, or unaliving a gay person for being him gay was a great idea. In what situation would you do that? In what situation would you consider that to be a good option? As a good, not evil, good. For instance, I'm a fascist. You might you might think it's bad, but I don't. Yeah, I see. You were fascist in the Mussolini's way, not the Hitler's way. Mussolini's way was also bad, but you were fascist in the origin term. I can see. I just learned about fascism by Buenos Aires too. You find what to be subs? The killing of a child? Answer my question. Let me question. In what situation unaliving oh my gosh, gay or being gay good, not evil? Answer. Think it's where you find commonality if a nation and state. If I find them to be sub, I'm I'm more of a mustache man type. Okay, you're more of a mustache man type. I see. Yeah, like I said, nuke is a pal Iran act. I don't care about kids' family act. Ignoring the semantic point, that's not logical fallacy. That's objective morality can be subjective. I understand that. Yes, someone that power can mold people's understanding of good and evil. Wow, that's an excellent point by Dankly. I understand that. Yes, someone with power and power can mold people's understanding of good and evil through propaganda and ideological war. But that does not mean that an objective morality can exist. Again, it is commonly completely besides the point. I thought you might be fascist, but I didn't want to assume. I don't talk to fascist basement dwelling losers, so I'm not engaging with you anymore. But we gotta listen to his point now. Dankly, you rose an excellent point of what power, how power is not, how power changes subjectivity. You know how power changes objectivity to subjectivity. But you got to listen Iron's Troutman. Just because he follows an ideology, you can't consider him and you can't intolerate him. That's what. Have you heard of paradox of intolerance? I have heard of. Okay, Iron's job didn't answer my question by the way. In what situation unaliving king or being is good, not evil, and not evil? In what reasoning will you justify mustache guy's work? Iron's job. You need to answer that. Okay, the conversation is going nowhere. If Iron's job doesn't answer my question,
by the leaders of these new countries, who saw the Kurds as a threat to their efforts to unify their country around
Iron's job, can you even tell me what fascism means? Where does it originated from, the word fascism? What does it mean? Just tell me in one word without Googling. I'll explain like you never heard that. Anti-communist number one. Okay, which question's answer was that? Analyzing anti-communist? Anti-communism is the reason you justify all the work done by the mustache guy in Russia, originated from Bolsheviks in Russia. Oh my god. Fascism, no, fascism didn't originate from Bolsheviks in Russia. You're getting it all wrong, Mr. Irons. Fascism is an Italian. Fascism comes from an Italian word. Fascism comes from an Italian word. Italian, Latino word. See, you just said R is okay. Tangley cannot see that. Uh, should I allow that? Not allow. Okay, so you just agreed that objective morality exists. Tangley just got one plus one. You lost. You s- oh, I thought you asked where did communism. No, I asked where did fascism came from. Fascism came from an Italian word. Mussolini was the originator of all this. I'm sorry for my mic though. I can't do anything about it. I'm so sorry, man. It just ruins the mood, man. Whatever, let me explain. Let me explain what I can. Fascism comes from an Italian word, fascio. Fascio means unity. Very simple. It just fascism doesn't define what fascism actually, the ideology, what fascism ideology means. It's just fascio. It means fascio. Fascio means unity in English, which means unity. It doesn't define anything. So you need to if you talk about fascism, you need to explain what type of fascism would you believe in. Fascism started and ended in in a span of 20 to 30 years. That ideology was so bad. Hence the bundle, yeah, the bundle and the next sign. The bundle and the next sign. It's an is that's the representation of the. So you know shit. So you know. That's fine. We're growing. What was growing? Fascism was growing. Fascism grew. Fascism didn't even end last more than 20 years as a concept. Oh, fascia and Mussolini. You get a +1 since I'm not acknowledging anything Iron says. Never mind debating him. Okay, whatever. If you don't want that, then that's okay. But Iron's job just agreed to the point that objective morality exists by stating this, the one that I'm highlighting, this thing. I can't speak that out loud because I don't think it would work. I'm a fascist, but more globally and country-wise. NatSoc. NatSoc? What does that mean? All depends on the subject. Iron's job. What does NatSoc means? Okay, so when the debate started about objective morality exists or not, so that clearly was won by Dantley. He stated his point, he stood firm to his point, and Iron's job just took the conversation in a different path of fascism and stuff. And we started explaining what fascism really means and what it really because fascism itself is a confusing term. NatSoc stands for National Socialism. Okay, it is a term Nazi pussies use when they are too scared to admit their mass. Okay, got it. Got it. Thanks, Danny. Don't be mean to each other. You guys are great. You both guys are great. You rose excellent point. But Iron Storm needs to explain his fascism point. National Socialism. Okay, so it's almost like anti-communism, but using their words to anti-socialism, but national socialism. Oh my god, that's confusing. I need to learn about it. I would call that a great line. Great line to end that conversation. That's the point where we end this conversation. You both guys are great with your ideologies. There's no end to it. This fight, okay, it will never end. So let's just cut this back. Ironsdorf, where are you from? You never mentioned where are you from.
A common language and culture. Like in Iran, where the Kurds had some political
I'm gonna be mean to Nazis because they're piece of shit who don't think other people deserve to live.
rights, but they fought for more. They wanted autonomy and independence. The government of Iran wouldn't have any of this. They would crack down with violence on the Kurds, often supported by Western powers.
We are growing. Yeah, fascism is back. Let me show you one thing. Let me give you a reference. See this is the reference. Yeah, that's the reference for what video? Watch this video right here. This video right here, and you will understand origin and how is it back. Modi government in India. Let me talk to you personally. Personally, we watch Destiny. Yeah, Destiny is banned from Twitch, by the way. If you don't, you must have known that. We where my IP says. Okay, Modi, the government, the country that I live, where I live in, is also for fascist. They're with ideology, they're fascist, but they never use the word fascism as their core ideology because it's just disgusting to use. It's not. Like I know anti-echo chamber. I was Destiny. I was Destiny. Yeah, I've heard that guy.
That's how
Come on there.
He's more of a debate type of guy. I hate Trump. What? A fascist guy hates Trump? Trump is the most fascist you can get. Trump is fascist favorite person. I was assuming until now, but a fascist guy hating Trump is a surprise to me.
in these four countries became locked in a conflict with their governments. They all have different
I love to debate. I love to learn. I love to learn.
struggles, but they're all
Trump is gay. Oh, it's gay. How do you know? How do you know, man? Iron's job, you never mentioned where are you from, by the way. Or did you? Did I miss?
all unified by the dream of some version of Kurdish independence. But it doesn't take long for these regimes to see that they could use the Kurds as a tool, as a weapon. One of the earliest examples of this happens at the end of World War II, when the Soviet Union sees an opportunity to gain land and access to oil by supplying and arming the Kurds.
I missed it. I really missed it. Can you tell me once more?
In Iran.
It gives a context. Like I have my own context of fascism, being from India. You must have your own context of National Socialism, being from your place. Dankly is a Norwegian, so he must have. But you, man, I gotta sleep. You have a great stream. So follow me, dog. Follow me. Play a game with me. Grow my Twitch account if I have a great stream. Okay, thank you for the compliment, though. And follow me if you want to. And what? Yeah, sleep, man. Go sleep. And bye. Until then. Please mention before going, where are you from? Don't keep that a secret.
On.
From how they were talking before on the video, you played from their stream as well as because how uneducated Iran seems to be. I'd say they are from United States of America. More of the mostly type. No, I don't know about mostly. There are three people in this conversation, and two of them, and one of them doesn't know about mostly. So. Was an English fascist. Okay. I really don't have a European context around fascism. The English seems educated. Oh, I get that. How are you doing? Economic. What was the subject? History. Economics. History. Economics. Let me search. He was the member of Parliament of United Kingdom. सर ओसवाल्ड एर्नल्ड मॉसले 6 बार यह आदमी तो बिल्कुल बेवकूफ़ है। इसने तो सचमुच मेरी उस बात को साबित कर दिया जो मैं अलग-अलग नज़रियों के बारे में कह रहा था। इसे बुरा लग गया और इसने आगे बात करना ही नहीं चाहा। Sir Oswald Emerald Sixth Baronet was an English politician who rose to fame during 1920s and 1930s when disillusioned with mainstream politics, he turned fascist. He was member of parliament for Harrow from 1918 and 1924 and for Smethwick 1926. See, that's when the most he was a typical fascist loser who betrayed his country in favor of licking Hitler's hair. That's the point. I hate fascism too. Means I don't have an opinion. I need to learn about the European context of fascism, but I hate the way it is performed in India by Mr. Modi and how it is misused. But I don't really have a deep knowledge about this ideology of fascism, and I will learn. I would have an opinion around it. Dankly, एक छोटी सी I didn't stop it. Waiting someone. He can translate that too, man. Look at it in Hindi, won't affect the conversation. Oh, I got a call. By the way, Mr. Iron's job, when are you following me? If you're not, just say no. I've been waiting to change the number of the followers.
Do the Palestinians have a right to a separate state?
No, I don't think they do, but
In 2007, the head of military intelligence for the Israeli army had a meeting with the US ambassador in Tel Aviv. We're looking at the classified cable that summarizes what was talked about in this meeting. The topic of discussion was Iran, Syria, the Gaza Strip, and Hamas. Hamas had just won the Palestinian.
YouTube channel Second Thought has a lot of good videos on explaining fascism, in my opinion. Second Thought emphasizes that too. Is Europe turning fascism? Rich people want fascism. Which video should I watch, Tankley? Vic. Rich people want fascism.
I need to document our NetSuite reconciliation workflow before the team's sake, or else I'll literally get fired.
Don't do it.
Hey, do we all?
Okay, let me just hear. Vic. Second Thought. Debate. Whatever, it is too long to listen.
গ্লোবাল ক্যারিয়ারের স্বপ্ন ভর্তি হও SBIHM কলেজ কলকাতা বারাসাত ভিজিট SBIH
That's Bengali, by the way. That's a different language.
Buddy.
What a dumb bitch.
These are your fans.
Thanks for the link, though.
Okay, these are the people
That's how I
who
know he's a dumb bitch.
want to see you, who
Which one of them? Okay, the right one is Destiny, right? Okay, guys. Whatever, let's talk 5 hours, so it's a long debate. This video is 4 hours, 30 minutes. Yeah, I also don't know what the Second Thought has to do with this. Iran's job just drops rains out of nowhere.
Y'all remember when Democrats called Trump a...
He says, Iran's job just says what he wants to say. He don't have a second thought about it, what he wants to say.
Fascist. Fascist. Fascist.
He's a fascist.
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 Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
But then
Trump has been elected.
the cheers coming up.
And then
I'm going to work to find common ground with the Republicans on how we can do that.
We fought like heck on where our values were assaulted or challenged, and we'll continue to do so. But that does not mean we will not aggressively look for common ground.
after yet another most important election of your life, Democrats have neatly tucked away the F word and are once again excitedly collaborating with the Trump admin. If this was your first election, I'll tell you right now, this isn't new. It's not the first time we've seen Democrats call out Trump's fascist tendencies for election brownie points before quietly backing his anti-immigrant, pro-business policies once the show's over. And there are 1,000 different explanations for this trend. We could try to understand it by looking at exit polls in specific districts, campaign donations in key races, or by focusing on whatever Fetterman is doing. But I think the best way to understand this comfortable alliance between liberals and the far right actually comes from looking a little
Let me check. This ain't working. What is this, man? Explain it first. Movie or what? 11 hours 59 minutes. It's 12 hours of video.
Farther back at the last 100 years. The last century is full of
Dankly's recommendations are doable. You didn't even follow me, man. Why would I listen to you?
moments where liberals fall in line behind right-wing dictators. The US pushed fascists into power in dozens of coups. The German Center, National, and Christian
I work for followers.
right parties all folded for the Nazi Party, and so too did the Chilean Christian Democrats line up behind Pinochet. If we want to actually understand this link, though, we'll need to go even further back. Moments like these all came in the last few minutes before far-right leaders took over, and focusing on them makes it seem like liberals are only ever forced into supporting fascism when they have no other choice. And that's just really not true. Liberals kinda love fascism. Not all of it, not always, but they do like what it can do for them. And to really see that, we should start with Brussels in 1920. Howdy friends, JT from the future here. I just wanted to take a quick second to do a shameless plug for Means TV, both because it's awesome and because being a dirty comment.
I think someone left. Which one of you guys left? Dankly, are you here? I don't want Dankly to leave. Yeah, then that Iron's job guy, fascist guy left. We gotta hear different opinion, different voices to get better knowledge. But some voices are just dumb. But still we gotta listen to them with utmost respect to their thought, is what I believe in. I don't know what's your context with President, as I said. So you must be very pissed with President, and I don't have any problem in that. But I still appreciate okay, some fascist. I see your anger against fascism. But I still appreciate hearing people.
Communist on YouTube is looking like more and more of a losing proposition. If you're not familiar with Means,
I felt that guy acted much like a, a pseudo-intellectual. Pseudo-intellectualism was at his core.
it's a worker-owned cooperative.
He quoted 5-hour-long videos, Destiny, I love Destiny, something like that. And he acted like a pseudo-intellectual. I'm a fascist. I hate Trump. I watch Destiny. I'm from Bihar. Alright. Still, we gotta listen to him. Some of the points he rose was great. I don't remember any of them right now, but it didn't piss me that much off that normal fascist guy who spends way too much time on the internet. Yeah, things like that guy. Pseudo-intellectual guy. 11 hours of video is not even enough in real life. Yeah.
And explicitly anti-capitalist streaming service.
Agreed.
You can find everything from my videos into a place that's both worth react using that. So, trying to respect what we really want to make and say the things we really want to say. There's even a community forum where creators can engage with each other and fans right on the platform. As a little thank you for watching our channel, if you sign up with our link, or another creators if you prefer, you can get your first month 20% off. Or for an even better deal, you can opt for the annual plan and get the whole year 20% off. A full year of Means TV will run you less than $90, which is like the cost of a single DoorDash meal these days. Every person who signs up using a creator's link is directly contributing to the financial stability of that channel and the entire cooperative media project. None of this would be possible without the generosity.
Oh my God.
World War I completely transformed European politics for a million different reasons. For starters, because of the war effort, most European countries sort of gave up on free market capitalism. They realized their survival couldn't depend on business owners and their profit-first priorities, so governments took over, organizing production, foreign trade, resource allocation, labor markets, bringing tons of private companies into the public's hands, and guaranteeing a new baseline social welfare while also dropping the gold standard to free up government budgets from artificial restraints. They needed to get things done. Surviving the war meant dramatic changes, and those changes actually had some pretty interesting consequences. Not only did they fundamentally undermine the widespread idea that free market capitalism was this all-capable, perfectly functioning system that's...
Is it okay if I increase the speed of the video? You want this to watch with me? You must have watched this video already. Thank you.
in tune with...
No, it's my stream, but we just two work here, man. I work for my viewers. Streams work for their viewers, though. It's been 2 hours, so it's my time to wrap it up, I guess. But I don't want to leave a stream on hang. I usually, since the I leave alone.
With the very essence of human nature, because if it was, why bother with all this stuff? But also, by getting the state explicitly involved and making it super obvious just how much of the economy is just random autocrats calling the shots, governments completely destroyed any idea that capitalism and its hierarchies had anything natural or democratic about them. Instead of the market, you now had a very clear idea of specifically which people were deciding what happened to you. And rather than being forced to do stuff with the threat of unemployment and whatever percent the government thought was acceptable, workers were suddenly being disciplined by the state directly if they didn't comply with the war effort. Meaning once it was clear to most people that you didn't need the profit motive to get things done, and that governments could run economies to send thousands to die, workers organized so that they could use these same powers to instead make their lives better. And wow, did they organize. In Italy and Britain, for example, worker strikes reached unprecedented scale. 35 million workdays were spent striking in Britain in 1919, and 2.5 million workdays were spent striking in Italy in April of that year alone. To give you an idea, 1919 and 1920 are affectionately called the Red Years in Italy for just how popular communism and socialism became at this time. And with that came new attempts at doing the economy without capitalists. Just like what was happening in the Soviet Union, Italian workers organized in factory councils, managing hundreds of factories and industries like agriculture much more democratically, and turning huge chunks of the national economy away from the profit motive. Not only that, where capitalists were still around, workers went on strike for the same comforts as the upper classes, like social insurance for sickness, disability, and old age. And thanks to all these efforts, not only did things massively improve, their wages went up. Like, a lot. 2 times in Britain and almost 5 times in Italy compared to what they were before the war. Now, not everybody was happy about this. Workers getting their fair share meant more and more of the wealth created at this time didn't go to business owners, like it usually did. And I don't have to tell you that that's a really good thing. Only a teeny tiny 1.7% of Italians were capitalists, but they were getting about a third of the wealth produced in the early 1910s. Most of the population was working class, so the fact that capitalists ever kept more than 1.7% of the total pie was a highly unequal thing. But hey, whoa, look at this. Look what's happening there after 1922. That's interesting. After a few years of money being spread more equally thanks to workers striking and getting a say in things, that 1.7% in Italy is suddenly making a lot more of all the money. That's fascism. That right there, that's Mussolini. Wait, I forgot about Brussels. Shit.
इंसान बोल देता है जानवर
funny, not funny. That was surprisingly funny, but I feel poor for this guy. One day I will
Palestinian elections, which kicked off a fight with the other Palestinian group, which ended in Hamas taking over Gaza completely. They controlled it. And if you're an Israeli citizen or the US government, this is a terrible set of events. Hamas is a violent extremist group known to commit heinous violence against civilians in Israel, and they were now in power. They controlled the Gaza Strip, an hour away from Tel Aviv. But look at this leaked document. In this leaked cable, you see that the Israeli official says that Israel would be happy if Hamas took over Gaza, because it would mean that Israel could now treat Gaza like a hostile country.
3 days post the ceasefire and there's unrelenting bombing in Gaza.
This document is a view into a strategy that right-wing factions within the Israeli government have used for decades in an effort to win one of the most divisive conflicts in the world today, in which two groups are fighting over one piece of holy land, and one side is winning by using a very specific tactic, one that the world says is illegal and immoral, and one that worked for a short time, but that recently has been shown to be a recipe for even worse violence and conflict and suffering.
attended by economists, but also bankers and treasury officials, and hardly anybody representing workers. Hailing from countries across Europe, these wealthy technocrats came together to discuss the fact that capitalism wasn't so hot anymore, that it was digging into their profits, and that people were starting to feel just a little too hopeful that their lives might improve as they were getting rid of it in more and more places. They were eager to go back to business as usual, but to quote a financier who attended, the manual workers were encouraged to expect and do expect some new way of life, some great betterment of their lot. These changes, they believe, can be achieved if the system of private industry is replaced by a sort of government or common ownership, something that these workers had started proving could actually work. But that's not the point. What sort of a better life were people hopeful for after the war and rationing? According to the report Brussels issued, very basic things like superfluous, excessive consumption of butter and sugar. Basically, the proles were making too many cakes. So naturally, these jerks decided it was time to invent a new kind of dictatorship. Enter fascism. To restore business owners' status at the top of society, they needed to engineer a new economy that would arbitrarily punish workers while making it seem like this was an objective necessity. And they had a few ideas. You might have heard of them before. It's a package of policies called austerity. In 6 short words, work hard, live hard, save hard. An austerity economy is one that tries to get you to spend more time at work, producing more stuff, making less money, while cutting your spending so that the stuff you make goes straight to exports. This makes your life worse, but it does make rich assholes richer. They're encouraged to save and reinvest their money. Meanwhile, you're chastised for not saving money you don't have because less is coming into your pockets. To achieve this, economists wanted to use 3 tools: fiscal, monetary, and industrial austerity measures. In their wildest dreams, governments would start by 1. Cutting social spending on health, education, and housing, 2. Increase taxes that mainly hurt workers, like VAT taxes on everyday goods, while at the same time lowering income and wealth taxes so that the rich pay less, 3. Increase the interest rate. This benefits capitalists with enough money to lend out, since now doing so is more profitable, and it makes borrowing money more expensive for those living paycheck to paycheck. It also usually makes unemployment go up, which goes very well with 4. Privatizing and selling off state assets at bargain bin prices, deregulating away workers' rights, and going on a union-busting spree. This was their dream, an opportunity to try out what they called pure economics. More accurately, economic policy that doesn't have to contend with what workers want. An economy where every human can be completely isolated from each other, preyed upon by those with more power, and made to work as much as physically possible before collapsing and being replaced by someone completely interchangeable from the economist's point of view. Whose dream was this exactly? These guys. Here are 4 Italian economists. 2 of them committed fascists, the other 2 committed liberals. All of them were committed to the same project of pure economics, and when workers got in the way, they felt perfectly comfortable with the dictatorial power it would take to implement and sustain their ambitions. Because the problem is that it's hard to convince people to accept policies that'll make their lives objectively worse. Once austerity is locked in, of course, you don't need to convince anybody anymore. They have no other way to survive than to work inhumane hours, live frugally, and save as much as possible to make it to the next month. But before things run on autopilot, it was going to take a little muscle to get people on board. And that was what Il Duce was for. This is the argument Clara Mattei makes in The Capital Order, the book I've been referencing throughout this video. That was her graph earlier. She's the one who found all those quotes. According to Mattei, fascism wasn't just a fascist project. Historically, fascist parties were never popular with a majority of the population. No, fascism was first and foremost a technocratic project that brought together both the far right and liberals intent on testing out their economic theories to protect the capitalist system from the rising tide of communist support, while making them and their buddies richer. And Mussolini was the guy to deliver on those technocrats' ambitions. Unlike liberal leaders, Mussolini was happy to give these technocrats key roles in his fascist government, happy to clear the path for them by massacring communists and unionists, and happy to allow their technocratic attacks on the working class to take shape. To illustrate how bad this was, during the fascist years, unions were crushed and workers' salaries were slashed so dramatically that workers' earnings in 1946 fell all the way back to what they were 30 years earlier, in 1911. before those 5 times gains we talked about earlier, and these economists couldn't be happier about it. Pantaleoni, one of the fascists, frequently talked about using the fascist stick in an extermination war against the socialists. No surprises there. Fascists are anti-communists. But Ricci and Einaudi, our liberals, were equally enthusiastic about fascist repression. Writing in The Economist, Einaudi applauded their fascist government for stepping in when the worst happened, meaning by that the fact that workers who set up councils in factories took the first steps towards replacing capitalism with communist democracy. The purges, executions, arrests, and complete obliteration of communists and socialists and the impoverishment of the Italian working class were applauded and egged on by top liberals looking for a return of excessive capitalist profits. The state changed its priorities to make capitalists richer at workers' expense, limiting its spending to handouts for factory owners while workers slowly starved. Exploitation and unemployment increased, consumption went down, and fascism was there to keep everyone in line with its black shirts and hide that exploitation under the guise of national duty, stoking patriotic fervor to shut up socialist-minded workers. And this didn't stay within Italy's borders. Like I've said, these gentlemen had a platform in The Economist, a British magazine, to sell fascism abroad. But even without official representatives, magazines like The Times whitewashed fascism as simply, quote, an anti-waste government. And there are 100 more examples of sweeping the fascist violence, anti-Semitism, and anti-worker policies under the rug. In Germany, too, the Italian project didn't go unnoticed. Basing himself off of Mussolini's March on Rome, Hitler attempted his own putsch to gain supreme power. His timing wasn't right, though. He had to wait about a decade with